So to have
he
him,
ain't the best of him, and he stole.
well, to have him steal, I feel was
I hate
a little against his character.
Like, what?
Like, why would he do that?
He was stealing it out of arrogance and stuff, which does fit, especially in this movie, the way Hercules is.
Well,
Like, he shows up late to the Olympics.
Yeah.
So he, like, and still thinks he deserves a chance, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, I think it fit totally with him.
Ah, yes, come in. Our featured presentation is about to start. You have entered into cult cinema with the dastardly evil Cheese Film and my partner in crime, Hecubus. This is the Grindhouse Podcast. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I am your host, Cheese Film, and I am joined with my partners in crime. That's right, the one and only Hecubus.
The Grindhouse-onauts.
The Grindhouse-onauts. And, of course, our AI program and training, Mr. Randy Official.
Hello.
Mr. Randy, did you see your character?
I have. I dig it. It's pretty cool.
Did you see how the stomach's got the artwork in it?
I did not. I've only seen like the upper half one.
It's really
That's
cool.
His head and arms.
Yeah, and on the chest, it's the artwork for the podcast.
I did not know that. I will have to check that out.
I also spelled Randy like R4 and D.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Because it's pretty
I like
cool.
that. That's so stupid.
Yeah, and
I love it.
we like it. We like the culty stuff. Speaking of culty stuff,
We like stupid stuff.
have you heard of Ray Harryhausen?
Who?
Ray Harryhausen. He's just this unknown guy who made some effects nobody knows about.
You know what's hilarious is I was watching somebody doing a review of one of these movies, and they were talking about how Don Chaffey
Yeah.
gets ripped off because everybody's like, it's a Ray Harryhausen movie. He only does the effects, the stop motion stuff. He doesn't do the rest of the movie.
This DVD that I got in a box set, the Harryhausen collection.
Yeah.
I don't know, take camera 3. Can you see this little down here? It says the Ray Harryhausen signature collection. Like I was thinking that too, because I thought he directed this. Because on here there's an interview with John Landis talking to Ray Harryhausen.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, obviously he
cool.
directed it. And then the credits start, and I'm like, he didn't direct it.
No.
This other guy
I always
did.
figured he directed the whole movie too, and he was just good with special effects.
Yeah, that's
Nope.
what I thought. Like he was what's his name? Nike's son. Leica dude.
What?
The Leica Studios guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
His father is a CEO of Nike.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why he can make whatever movie he wants. And even though they don't ever, I don't think they've ever done well at the box office,
Right.
but he just makes them anyway.
Who cares?
Because
Eventually people are going to watch him.
but yeah, I thought he directed this, and I was surprised. On my notes, I have it crossed out and written up here because I was so convinced.
I think he might have directed all of like the Mysterious Island or something, which was like right before this one. But that might not be true either.
Well, and the way the interview went and some of the bonus feature stuff I've seen, I think he had more say in a lot of this than you would expect a special effects artist to have.
Yeah, he did, because he wanted to make the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad Part 2, basically, and have Sinbad in this movie. And the original script was not like this, and he wanted to be more like the actual story of Jason and the Argonauts, and he won. But you know, like in the original story, there's not a Hydra. Right. It's just a regular dragon and stuff like the little things. But
well, and he's also a producer on these too, which might be why he's got more say.
Probably.
It also might be because his stop motion effects are unparalleled to anybody else I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I've got written down here that some of it looks like men in suits, which you would think sounds bad.
Yeah.
But like it's a puppet. It's a wired figure moving like a guy in a suit would.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is insane.
That's what Sarah said, actually.
That they look like dudes in suits?
Yeah, they were like, is that a guy in a suit? And I said, no, that's like stop motion.
Yeah. And it's you gotta tip your hat to it. Like,
Yeah,
you just
do.
have to. But
The only thing that's comparable, like that Coraline
yeah,
is a lot smoother than his stuff.
it is.
Way
like,
smoother.
But I think that's
It is. It is a little different. Or even Tim Burton stuff that I know he's not the one moving
Right.
the thing, but it's a little smoother. But it's cool and has charm,
it does.
and it always works. For me anyway, it always works.
It's old and it's the first.
Yeah,
I think
right.
that's why when you look at Coraline and you look at the Corpse Bride, they move more fluid because cameras now
Yeah,
can
that too.
record at a higher frame rate.
Yep.
You know, so like he's talking about the scene with Trident in it.
That's right.
Oh, it's
think that looks
specifically
great.
Trident. It's not Poseidon.
Yeah, right. It is.
Which I think is funny.
Yeah. So if he's looking at the pictures right now, it says Poseidon because I couldn't remember his name.
Thank you for telling me that.
They filmed that at 90 frames a second. I think it was 90. It might have been more than that. 90 frames a second.
Right.
Which was pretty unheard of to do something at the time. It was
Right.
super fast. And then they slow it down so that he looks
Bigger.
clunky. Yeah. But also retain that smooth look. But the camera blew up a couple times because it would it's this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
not like these
It's
digital
not-
cameras,
right? Like
It's-
the 1,000 feet or million feet per second videos you could see.
exactly. So it would. So he would be filming
Frames
this
per
stuff
second.
and
Yeah.
boom. All right, well, reset. They just keep taking it. It took a couple days to
Wow.
get it all in,
Yeah.
but like
I think that looks great.
I do
That
too.
Titan part looks, or Triton part looks great.
And I saw a set photo of it because you've got the miniature ship, which is still pretty big,
Yeah.
with him between these two rocks. And, it all looks pretty perspective. And then the camera's panning out, and there's a guy standing on like a table directing him. So to
Yeah.
have it all kind of, the illusion be broken,
Right.
it's weird to look at.
Yeah, that
It
is.
makes the guy look small.
Right. That's cool.
But yeah, my first impression of this film was this feels like a school movie.
That you were watching school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you read the story and now you get to watch the movie
Right.
that it's based on.
Yeah.
But apparently it was a huge hit. People loved this.
Yeah. It was a huge hit.
And I can see why.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cool stuff in it.
I saw a comment when I was watching this on YouTube. It said, Citizen Kane isn't the best movie ever made. This is.
Yeah.
Do you know who said that?
Yeah.
Was it you?
No.
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 Do you know?
Yeah. Who the hell said it?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. He said it at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Oh.
That everybody says Citizen Kane or maybe the Maltese Falcon. Casablanca are the
Yeah.
two greatest movies ever made. I think Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah.
is.
That's cool.
And like, see, we have the benefit of Nolan making the Odyssey coming up soon.
Yeah, right.
Like we have the technology to make this
Real looking.
jaw dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you've got like going back and watching like Ben-Hur or the 10 Commandments,
Mhm.
you have to put yourself into the
When he parts the water in the Ten Commandments, I think that looks amazing.
it's beautiful.
To this day, it looks.
Yeah.
And I like the.
Prince of Egypt.
No. Well, I do like that, but there's a live action one. Ridley Scott made it. Exodus, Gods
yeah,
and Monsters,
yeah.
and it's pretty cool, but it's not as impressive as that one. It just isn't. That one just looks so cool.
And I'm glad I saw the interview because I thought they recreated a lot of these sets, a lot of the like the Parthenon, or
Yeah,
it's
right.
not the Parthenon, but
It's not.
the temples and stuff like that. They didn't.
Nope.
90% of this, I would say, was filmed in Italy at those locations.
Right. And around the whole Mediterranean area.
Yeah. So they got permission to do all that stuff there, which is not common and lends an air of authenticity to this because
it does.
Obviously the mountains in Italy look like mountains in Italy
Right.
that you imagine ancient Greece would look like, obviously. So to film something actually behind the mountains in Italy, I think is a genius idea.
It is a good idea.
And it feels like I'm watching an epic almost, even though it's
this is
not.
pretty epic.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff happens it's not that long, but a lot of things happen, like the first Olympics.
Yeah.
That's how he chooses who's going to go on the journey with him.
Yeah, how cool is that? And
That's very
Hercules
cool.
is
Hercules.
a whole nother Greek hero.
Yeah.
Which I haven't read this story in 14, 15 years since I was in high school. So I don't remember exactly how it goes. I don't remember if Hercules was on that team.
He was.
Think he was? Was he on that team?
Yeah, there was other people too that most
I'll
of them
look it up.
live.
Yeah, look that
I'll
up.
look it up.
Yeah, Jamie, look that up. Because Hercules is he's a tried and true hero. He's the best of man.
Yeah.
You know? So to have
He
him
ain't the best of, and he stole.
well, to have him steal, I feel was
I hate
a little against his character.
What?
Like, why would he do
Well,
that?
he was stealing it out of arrogance and stuff, which does fit, especially in this movie, the way Hercules is.
Well,
Like
and
he shows up late to the Olympics,
yeah.
so he still thinks he deserves a chance, all that kind of stuff. And I think it fit totally with him with his big
do?
hairpin.
Well, I do like how he's not stealing it for glory.
No, there's
He's like,
those
well, they don't need
gigantic
'em.
pearls,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. He doesn't take anything for the money. He takes it because this would be a good weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But they said don't take anything.
he when his partner there, his crime partner, goes missing,
Yeah.
dead. He's like, well, I'm not leaving this island until I find him.
Right.
He's like, well, you have a day, then we'll leave. And he's like, no, I'm not leaving until I find him.
That's right.
That's
Leave no one
pretty
behind.
admirable.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, he's a hero guy.
But on that island, I've got all this stuff. We're going so out of order.
Yeah. All right. So my first impression was, oh yeah, it's not the seventh voyage of Sinbad. Because when I was a kid, we got these two movies confused all the time, and I think there's a skeleton battle in that movie or something. And that might be why.
Those skeletons are the same skeletons.
Yeah. So it gets a little confusing, but
Yeah.
I always thought this movie was pretty cool. And if you want to know the story about the Jason and the Golden Fleece, you could do worse than watching this movie.
I
It's
think
pretty
this is
accurate.
a pretty good one to watch.
There's no monsters or giant moving statues, obviously, in real
that's
life.
completely fabricated.
But well, here's one thing: this could be based on a true story because the island they go to, I can't remember the name of it. Those people used to use sheepskin.
Yes, he is in it.
Hercules was a part
He's
of it.
in it.
Yeah,
So yeah, you were right.
he to like get gold, pan for gold. They would use the sheepskin,
Mhm.
so there would be golden flakes and stuff in
The sheep's fur.
right.
That's pretty
In
cool.
the fleece, yeah. And you go get it, but it's not going to mean you're the king.
No, and it's not going to heal the sick.
No, or nothing like that.
This movie was written by Jan Reed, Beverly Cross,
Yep.
and there was an uncredited writer,
Yeah.
Apollonius, the guy who wrote Jason and the Golden
Oh,
Fleece.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
He gets an uncredited credit on IMDb. I thought that was funny.
That's pretty cool.
And I wanted to throw that in there. A lot of those miniatures he made were made out of sponge and stuff like that, and they could never figure out how to get them not to rot until this movie.
I did not know that. I didn't know they were made out of sponge.
It's a lot of rubber, a lot of sponge, a lot of foam,
Uh-huh.
and that stuff. I mean, just deteriorates.
Right.
Like, have you ever seen the old Yoda puppet or
Mhm.
the TMNT 90s movie? The costumes for
Right.
that they wither, and they wither pretty hard and spooky.
Yeah.
So the skeletons he coated in latex.
Oh, that makes
and
sense.
That's why they're around now.
Huh.
Like, I think they're in the British Museum.
That's
You
cool.
can go see them.
They purposely got, what's his name? Todd Armstrong? Yeah, Todd Armstrong to be in this movie because he's an American. Is this the one?
No, you're thinking of
Clash of the Titans?
you're thinking of that.
Okay. They didn't want it to be a British movie.
Because it's too British, yeah. The ball and joints for the skeletons were also made by Ray's father.
Huh.
He made them for him.
That's cool. Wow.
And that's why they work so good, is because you built the skeleton and then built the skeleton over the skeleton.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was pretty well built beforehand.
Right, it's going to work just like it's supposed to.
Yeah. Mr. Randy, what was your first impressions of the legendary work of Ray Harryhausen?
I said,
And Don Chaffey.
oh, I don't think I'm gonna like this one.
Yeah, it takes a while to get going, and like the monsters
The monsters were the good part. Like,
don't come in till later.
Ultimately, that was like the thing.
Halfway.
That anytime I was going through my magic cards because I got distracted while watching this movie.
Wow.
But anytime a monster was on there, I really watched it.
Sure.
But I don't know. Like, I would be listening to what they're saying. I'm like, I do not care. Like,
Right.
what do we do? Who are you? Like, it goes from, oh, prophecy. No, we need to kill them. Like, it's like seconds immediately, like, of like lore that you need to know to even care about them. Like, you meet the mom puts him on the statue, and then all of a sudden the baby's gone. So
Well, if you weren't looking at the magic card, one of the soldiers
takes
grabbed
the
him.
baby.
I thought, and then there was another baby there, though. I thought,
No.
okay, maybe I wasn't, but yeah, I would.
That's great.
Part of it, I was like, all right, and then Monster Habit, I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. Like the statue was the first one. Talos.
What's it, the first one?
Talos was the first.
Was Talos the first one, or are the Harpies the first one?
No,
No,
Harpies
Talos
are
is the first
later.
one.
Yeah,
Because the harpies come with the blind man.
yeah,
Talos, cool, right? Cool dude.
yeah. And the sound it makes when it moves.
So,
That's
Got annoying
great.
a little bit. I thought they could tone that down like a half a second. I liked it. I liked that it was real, but I was like, all right, I get it. He's metal. Like, I get it. Like, tone it
Well, you really
down.
can't stop doing it.
Yeah.
Too.
Did you guys think he moved a little rigid and jumpy?
I think he moved like a statue.
He was worse than the Hydra, but the Harpies were worse than him.
So I asked this question because he was made to be jumpy and
Yeah.
stuff like
I
that.
thought it
And
made
that was an
sense.
intentional thing, and people would complain about it. And they're like, "Ray, it sucked. That looks bad." He's like, "Well, no, he's made out of brass.
Right.
He's moving like he's out of
Like a
metal.
statue
Yeah.
would.
So I thought that was really funny. He is not in the original story either. It's
Yeah,
not a
right.
giant.
He's not. No.
The only reason why it's a giant is because that shot where he stands between both rocks and the river
Yeah.
underneath him,
With the statue
he
of
wanted the Colossus.
Colossus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
it is super cool.
That was a cool shot.
But I find that to be absolutely hilarious that you changed the entire thing just because you thought that would look cool.
Yeah.
I also thought, I was like, little bit of a plot thing. Bro moves really slow. There is no way he made it all the way around that lake that short a time.
Who?
Talos, like when he was
Well, he's
like,
not moving slow. He's moving like, his stride is a half a mile at a time.
Well, yeah,
True.
he's moving slow for perspective.
Yeah. For
no,
us.
I mean, like, the fact that they got away would have been the thing. Like like he's relative to
Well, he's also
going
an enchanted statue.
that fast. So when he was like, "Oh, I missed the boat," and then they're like, "No, I got it. I'll stand at the edge." There's no way he could have actually moved that fast, I think. But I think it was still cool. I think it was cool. But I was like, "Oh, they got away." I was like, "There's no way he's moving that fast. He just gave up." And then when I saw him, I was like, "There's no way he moved that fast."
So this movie was shot pre-digital, so you couldn't like take a picture, look at it, take a picture, look at it. So how Ray did it, because it took 2-3 weeks to film just the Colossus stuff.
I don't doubt it.
Books of notes of just absolutely detailed, every single, like an engineer would,
Right.
of just
Oh,
how
yeah.
it was been moving the day before, so you can come back in the next day and keep going. And as tedious as that is, I think it pays off.
It does pay off. Every time it pays off.
You mentioned something though that was part of my first impression. This feels like it's recorded on like 5 different cameras. Like genuinely,
a lot of the day for night is terrible.
A lot, almost all of it's bad. They use pretty aggressive rotoscoping and map paintings too, and I think the film quality is a bit maybe overexposed because you get a lot of grain.
Yeah, there's a ton of grain,
and it doesn't always look good.
Yeah,
like
but it looks old.
It does.
So you get to forgive it for that kind of stuff because it's old.
It looks like it was filmed then, as opposed to being filmed in 1963. Right. By the way,
we
didn't mention that.
Didn't mention that.
So there is a levity you can bring to that, but I do think that Randy has a point though, where like it just kind of feels like it's jumping between quality.
Yeah, it does.
Did you guys like the acting?
It was all right.
A lot of it.
Todd Armstrong's voice was overdubbed by a different actor.
Who is that? The main guy?
One guy just didn't like it.
Oh.
And it kind of ruined his whole career.
Womp.
Yeah.
The main guy is
Jason,
Jason.
Was dubbed? I thought something was wrong.
Yeah, because they all sound dubbed.
They do all sound dubbed. And maybe they all are, like ADR, but
I looked it up.
They must have had to. You know what I'm saying?
These two are the only ones who are dubbed.
Oh, okay.
So she's dubbed too. But I think they dubbed everybody because when you dub somebody, it sounds very different quality of audio. So I think they just did it with everybody so that everybody sounded the same.
Yeah.
Because everybody sounds the same.
Everybody used their own voice except for Todd. Yeah. And what's her name?
And I find it, I don't know, staticky and stocky kind of when you have that fabricated voice.
Yeah, it does sound fabricated. It also seems like maybe it was recorded in a different language, except that you could tell they're all speaking English.
Well, so a lot of people wanted them to be played by muscle jocks, typically from the Mediterranean area.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't want to make one of those Italian movies. I wanted it to feel more authentic. So that's why nobody's ripped. They're not physically strong and they look like strong men, but they're not like
sculptured.
Yeah, they're not sculpted people. They're people. And I don't know. I kind of like that better because when you look at Hercules and you see him kind of like warming up to throw himself on that door, I buy it more.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's raw. It feels raw.
And his strength is going to come from his parentage.
You're right.
Not necessarily his workout routine.
You're going to be strong. If you want the body of a god, you got to work for this. That's something that God of War game that I really like. And the new one is you play as Kratos, and Kratos is shredded.
Yeah.
And his son is like, well, when do my muscles come in? He's like, when you work for him. He's like, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, you by default, by nature, you're going to be strong. But if you want to look like you're strong, you've got to have discipline for it. And I think this is a good showcase of that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
He's just a strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's also going to the Triton scene. I'm not sure why you use Triton specifically because you do have the Greek pantheon.
Yeah, and Poseidon's one of them.
But yeah, so why?
It must have been he was in that amulet or something. The amulet that he throws in the water that makes him come up must be Triton's amulet or something. You know what I mean?
Could be. Is Triton the Roman god?
I don't know.
Okay, I know that they're all based on the planets, but I don't know. I don't know who's who.
What's the other way around?
What do you mean?
The planets were named after them gods.
Well, yeah. But like Zeus's name is
Jupiter. Yeah, right.
Know?
It might be Triton is Poseidon, but I think Poseidon might be Poseidon. I don't know.
I don't know either. I look that up too, Randy.
Or put it in the comments.
I kind of want to know.
Triton is in Greek mythology, the demigod son of Poseidon. And,
that's right. Yeah, okay.
Amphitrite,
there we
god
go.
of the sea.
Because in Clash of the Titans, it's Poseidon.
Yeah.
You know? So why not? I also like how they do the pantheon in this one. I like Zeus, and I like the way they look better.
Yeah, I like the way they look at it.
They look like
They're cool.
Players in a play.
Yeah,
like
they
a
do
Greek
kind of look
player.
like that.
I appreciated that. I also like their vision pool.
Yeah.
They just kind of like look into this pool of water and they just like swipe their hand and TV
It
goes on.
changes something else. Yeah, that's cool.
That's clever. I like that. So we talked about the effects. Hydra was put in there.
Hydra's cool too.
And I think the skeletons coming from the Hydra's teeth.
That's
a pretty
awesome.
Interesting idea.
Yeah.
That's a good
love
little
that.
tie-in way. This movie almost kind of reminded me of like Flash Gordon almost. Like in its just campy superhero kind of feel.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't know. I just obviously this goes without everybody knows this. Like George Lucas, huge fan of these kind of movies.
Yeah, sure.
As a matter of fact, Spielberg and James Cameron have all personally talked to Ray Harryhausen and said, "Hey, you were the person who got me into all of this," which he wears as a badge of honor.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because I mean, like it's James Cameron, Steven Spielberg,
Right.
and George Lucas coming to you and saying you got us to like it. And yeah, so overall, I think the effects are really what sell this movie in particular. I like the story, but I think it's its weakest part because it's kind of flimsy. If you really like think about it,
That one thing I think was cool too is like this one and in Clash of the Titans too. They treat all of this stuff like it's real.
yeah,
Not like this is really how you do it. If I really want to have something done, I'm gonna really go to
a soothsayer.
Hernine or what the hell? What's the Zeus's wife's name? Starts with a H. And
why did you say it?
Hera. And
I said Helena.
and ask her for some help. And then it happens.
They're there. They're listening to you.
And all that kind of stuff. I think that's really cool. And it's just total the way they treat that like it's real. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I think it's not so much the story as it's kind of bloated feeling. And like Randy was saying, I don't mind sitting through that stuff. Probably because I'm older and I don't mind. And you're going to tell me a story. All right, I'll sit down and listen to your story.
Yeah.
But like some people might, need a little snappier. And like he don't question anything. He's like, well, go there and get that Golden Fleece. And like, well, I'm going to have the Olympics. I'm going to have a contest and I'm just going to go do it. And he goes and does it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of...
Because they offer him everything he needs.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, right. I'm going to get the best of the best. And...
They don't turn out to be so best of the bestie.
Well, in the real story, they are. Because everybody dies basically in this one. But
yeah.
everybody doesn't die except for Hercules. In the real story, they mostly live.
So Ray Harryhausen also said that this was his best movie he ever made.
Yeah.
He truly believes that. And I don't agree. Maybe because I think that his later work is better than his earlier stuff.
Like what?
Clash the Titans.
Oh.
Personally, I think it's his best work. But I haven't seen the Sinbad movies.
Mm. The Sinbad movie is exactly like this.
I felt like that. I want to see the Cyclops,
effects.
though.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The Cyclops. Well,
it moves a lot more natural than the giant Titus or whatever his name is.
Right.
But yeah, it's if you were watching this and fell asleep and woke up when Sinbad was on, you would think it was the same movie going.
Yeah,
that's how the effects are perfect like that.
I can see that entirely, and well, that just goes to show his consistency and his quality.
Yeah, his quality.
But so this movie also got me to think. They say that the Odyssey is an unfilmable story.
Yeah,
like you can't put that onto film.
Right.
Like how Watchmen is, or other great stories.
Right.
I don't agree.
You said the Odyssey, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't say Ulysses.
Well,
That's an entirely different thing.
Ulysses is the.
I'm talking about the James Joyce Ulysses. That probably is unfilmable.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Right,
but Ulysses is Odysseus's Roman name.
Right.
Which I think is funny.
Yeah.
But the BBC has an Odyssey that's a 2-part miniseries, and they do pretty good.
Yeah.
But this could have been the Odyssey.
Sure.
He could have done that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an epic, but like it could be done. Like this. What are you talking about? It's an unfilmable. It's about a guy trying to go home with big monsters
from a war. That's it.
Yeah, like you watch this stuff, and I'm like, the sequel should be the Odyssey. Then,
yeah, really.
He could have done a whole bunch of Greek. Legends.
They were going to do a whole bunch of them, and that's why. Was this it? Or is it? Am I thinking of Clash of the Titans? No, it was this one. They were going to have all the other gods in it are British actors that are well known. Yeah. And they were going to have a, oh, darn it, I can't remember which one. But one of the other gods was going to have a little epic tale too, which would have been the sequel to this. And they didn't end up doing it.
Speaking of gods, the Hela statue or whatever, Henna, whatever her name is.
Hera.
The one on the boat?
Yeah, I didn't like that one. Like, you didn't need to make it blink. You could just dubbed over it. Well, I would have got what it was meaning.
So that the Argot boat had the statue of Hera on it.
And it blinked.
Well, it probably didn't blink, but that was to show us that she's alive.
That's when she's there and when she's not there. But you're right, Tom. They didn't have to do that.
It looks funky.
I was like, all right, I get it. I don't like it. I get it.
I was sitting there, I was watching it, and I'm like, and then because her eyes are closed, and then they open, and I was like, oh, that's weird, because it's weird looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it, and maybe if it happened just the one time, it wouldn't be such a big deal, but every time he talks to the statue, it opens his eyes like that.
And then she closes them too.
Yeah.
That's when she's done. And those eyelids were not good.
No. I feel like it would have been better.
The boat talks to him in the story. The actual boat just talks to him. It doesn't, it's not her.
I thought it was cool. I think they were gonna do it maybe as like a little nod, but like one of the people is like looking at him at like when he's looking at the statue, and it seems like he's like, "Is this dude fucking crazy?"
Yeah.
So, and I kind of like that. I was like,
"Oh yeah,
I would have too." I would have definitely been like,
"No, that's not just you." Because I think a guy's like, "Who are you talking to?"
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, you're right, Tom.
That would fight. They have a mutiny on them.
No, I saw the fight, but I didn't.
I hope you saw the fight.
I didn't know that's why.
Because there is a shot where I want to say Timelicus looks over at Jason, and he's like, and like they show Jason's back talking to the statue, and then he turns around. So like there is concern with the crew,
right? Because they're off in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely,
don't know where they're going.
Earth.
Yeah, the end of the earth.
I also think that I didn't think that the fleece was going to look good, but the fleece looked really, really good.
Yeah, it did look good.
The gold didn't look tacky or fake or anything. Like very well done.
The treasure in
the really big stuff.
Yeah, the really big stuff. The way they got it to shine the way it did blinded those two guys for 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
They had to go to the hospital. They got their sight back, but the next day they were blind.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
But yeah, that golden fleece looked good.
Yeah.
It did.
And then they get to the epic skeleton battle that you either know from this movie, you know from Sinbad.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they move so well. So they were shadow boxing.
Yeah,
shot beforehand,
and they do a great job.
I was wondering that. I was like, how are they? It looks good.
Like when he kicks the
it feels like they're interacting.
Off. He's just kicking, and the head. He put that in afterwards. It's great.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way to do it because then you, as the animator, have full control, of the reactions to it. But like, it looked like men in suits.
Yeah,
man. Like there's one where he rolls over. A skeleton rolls over.
Yeah, that one looked great too.
Awesome. Like, oh my God. I don't think this is a great movie by any real stretch. I think it's a good, fun movie.
Sure, it is.
But
I don't think it's a
you got to
good
check out
movie.
these effects.
Yeah,
like even I wouldn't have Randy sit down and watch this movie. I wanted him to because I didn't think he'd like it.
I think Funny enough that you bring this up. When you look this movie up, the first thing is the skeletons.
It is.
It's not even a full movie. Watch for free or whatever.
It's the skeletons.
It's Argonauts skeleton fight. And they're like, oh, all right. So at least I have something to look forward to because it did look cool.
Ray thought the Hydra was going to be the show, the main thing. And it's not. History made it the skeletons. That is so much cooler.
And I was gonna.
And I like the Hydra part.
The Hydra looks cool. I love it.
The Hydra looks cooler.
I love the color on it. I love how it comes out carrying the other guy.
Yeah.
It's
it's
cool.
awesome.
And it moves because he talks about how he has to animate 7 different heads.
Yep.
And what a pain in the butt it was.
Yeah,
but
and that pain in the butt is why when you cut one of its heads off, another one, 2 don't grow back.
Right, yeah.
Because of
absolutely not. And you're like, wow, yeah, that's pretty good. And then they just come out of the ground and they stand up. Kill them! And then they look like puppets, and then they don't.
Yeah.
And it's right there, right when they crouch to attack.
Yeah.
You are the illusion is sold. It's like a magic
Everything.
trick.
It is like a magic trick. And they're so menacing when they're down like that.
And they
because you would think, oh, a skeleton's coming at me. Ooh.
Oh, they kill him. They kill a lot of his men. And they're because it's a skeleton.
Right.
Push it over.
Push it over.
They stab him.
But when they're looking,
skeleton.
they're crouched down like that, you're like, well, crap, maybe I had to rethink this.
Right. And they've got swords and shields, and the way it moves is so natural. It's impressive.
In the story,
and there's not one
these
or two
things
of
have
them.
a name. I mean, the original story. And they're not made from the dragon's teeth or anything. I don't think. But they're grown. And they're grown with armor and arms, swords and stuff. And the way to defeat them is you just throw a rock in their direction, and they'll turn and blame each other for it and kill each other.
Huh. I love that about Greek myths.
Yeah, it's
just
weird.
Got a odd way around certain things. I like that. I think that's funny. But this movie kind of ends right after that.
Yeah,
he goes up and he gets the thing and it ends. We don't have a journey back. We don't have a final confrontation.
He does use it to heal what's her name, but so you get to see that it's a real thing and not just something people use to get gold.
Right. This movie was going to have a sequel. It was going to have a Jason the Argonauts 2 Electric Boogaloo, but Ray said, I want to make a Sinbad movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And he wanted to make a Sinbad movie all along.
That's where it ends. Like it was a giant hit. Everybody loved it.
It was
John Landis thinks this is, do you know John Landis?
Oh, hell yeah.
Thinks this movie is one of the greatest movies ever made. That's it. You just have this part one, and you never get to part 2. Yeah. It's not like it was a bomb. What? It's not like the people didn't want it.
John Landis made a special effects heavy movie called American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
And they should have stopped there. Because the other 2, there's 2 sequels. They don't even bother.
Something, this is silly on me, and I can't ever live this down. I won't let myself live this down. I thought American Werewolf in London was the Michael J. Fox basketball
movie.
said
that before. Teen Wolf.
Yeah. I will always call myself out on that because I think everybody is like, oh, it's a terrifying.
Really?
And I was like, what are you talking
I hope he doesn't miss this shot.
What's so scary about it?
Because his shorts, he's got short shorts on. Is that what's scary?
Oh God. But yeah, part 1 of a Greek epic that we never got to finish.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And nobody's made one like this since. Like this doesn't have a remake. They just I think there's other adaptations.
There's other adaptations. This is the one to watch though, as far as I'm concerned.
Because now you would think that like a fan would be like, well, I'm going to make part 2 to Harryhausen's part 1.
Yeah.
That never came.
Yeah.
They either just restart it or they don't. It's its own thing.
Yeah, it is.
I kind of like that. I do think that this one should be in the film archive if it's not already.
Yeah, it should be.
Because it
just
really
because of Ray Harryhausen.
Well, that too. But I think it really, really does capture like Greek legends and mythology.
I think it absolutely does.
Because Ray loved fantasy. And a lot of people, when they like fantasy, they do either high fantasy like Lord of the Rings or they do space fantasy like Star Wars. And he is like, I want to do I want to do this stuff.
It's already written.
Time. Yeah.
Everybody, there's a lot of, it's already out there.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to sell anything because probably people back in the 50s and 60s got taught this stuff more than even me. But it's already out there, so you can just capitalize on that.
And it's public domain.
Yeah.
So nobody has to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to use your imagination now. Look what I show you. It's easy to that way. It's great.
Man, what was I just about to say? I brought up earlier that this feels like a classroom movie.
Yeah.
It was. John Landis said that maybe somebody he knew, a kid or something. I don't think it was in his school because he's not that much younger than Ray.
Yeah, right.
But they do show it in class. Like you do watch, you do read Jason and the Argonauts, and schools would show this, and Ray was like, "Wow, I like that. I like being immortalized." As
sure,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they do it anymore.
I doubt it
because I don't even know if they tell these stories anymore.
I don't think so,
which is crazy to me. But they're just kind of going away.
It is crazy because a lot of the stuff is metaphoric, and like you could take something from it, and it doesn't matter what you personally look like.
Yeah,
you can set up a thing and get a bunch of champions and. Anybody could do it.
Yeah, it's
because Jason was
he's a guy.
He was prophesized to he's going to kill like a certain king.
Right.
So they put him out in the water, and half of the prophecy comes true because he comes out of the water with only one sandal, meets the king, and the king basically tricks him into doing this. But he overcomes everything. Do you know what I mean? By his wits and all kinds of stuff. It is a good idea to keep these things going.
Something else that I wrote down here too. A difference between this and the original story is, it's Apollonius, the king, is Jason's uncle.
Yeah, right.
They do know each other.
Yeah, and his mom was married to her own uncle or something too. Yeah. It's crazy stuff.
And that scene where right before he's like, "Well, you got to come into my camp."
Yeah.
Jason was fully aware that that's who he is. He was 1,000% like, well, this is the guy I'm going to end up killing. They don't play it that way in this.
No.
They do a reveal later on, really kind of it's not an important reveal. So,
no.
Yeah, I tricked him into the water, so that's one of your helps. That was the guy? I thought that was kind of funny. Also, you could have just, I don't know why the Greek gods like drama so much, because you could have, if they wanted to.
They're bored. They don't have TV.
They could have just done it.
Another difference is it's called Jason and the Golden Fleece, or just the Golden Fleece.
Is this why Jason and the Argonauts is the pop culture name for it?
Yeah.
That story is because of the Harryhausen?
Yeah. And he originally called it Jason and the Golden Fleece.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't remember why he changed it to
the Argonauts.
The boat.
Well, the people are called the Argonauts.
Yeah, Argus made the boat, the strongest boat in the world.
Right.
Called it the Argo, or they named it the Argo in the movie after him. And then Knots is Traveler.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it works pretty well. I especially if you like Greek mythology.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
It is perfect because it's just fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get really the whole story, a lot of it anyway. You don't get his journey back, like you said. But you get to know the names of the people, what they're kind of like the Greek gods or the demigods and all that stuff. It's not educational though. It's entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a good adaptation.
Yeah.
It's a fun adaptation.
And all these stories have different retellings. So if you were to say something from this movie in a conversation about Greek mythology, you wouldn't look like an idiot.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's hundreds of years old.
Greek mythology, thousands, yeah.
To the point where this is a poem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The Odyssey is a poem. I love learning about that in school, and everyone's like, what do you mean this is a poem? This is a full-on novel.
Yeah, it is. And it don't rhyme.
There's not a single rhyme in it. But yeah, I'd give this movie a thumb up.
I give it a thumbs up too. And you could also watch it with your kids.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Love this.
I think they would with the monsters and everything.
Oh yeah,
and like how Randy got a little bored with some of the stuff. They're going to come back for the monsters every time, just like he did.
Well, we lightly brought up the harpies. I love how blue they are.
Yeah,
blue.
They're good color.
Stand out really well. What about you, Randy? How many thumbs up would you give it?
I would give it a half a thumb.
I can see that.
I can see. Randy says
it's not bad.
Randy official says just look up the special effects fight scenes.
Look at the Or just watch this and you'll see them in.
Right there you go. Just watch this.
But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to it. I would check this out, this version, because it has a really cool interview with Harryhausen on it, and he does talk a lot about
that's definitely worth it.
Effects. I was surprised there wasn't any real more bonus features.
I'm not. They cheat people out of that stuff, man.
Well, this is an older box set, you know. I just got Wicked, no bonus features. Very upset about that. I don't know. I'm a bonus feature kind of guy. I like watching how it's made. I like watching all that kind of stuff.
Hey, one correction from a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Johnny Depp movies, and you guys both mentioned Sweeney Todd. And I had said that I don't think Tim Burton directed it. Just Johnny Depp is in it. Tim Burton directed it.
Oh, okay.
And he hates musicals.
I thought Tim Burton directed.
He did.
It feels like a Tim Burton movie. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say to this, but go ahead and watch it, check it out, because I think
the gods decree that you should see this movie.
The gods decree. It is foretold that you would watch it. But yeah, I think this is a perfectly fine movie to watch.
It's a lot of good.
Definitely check it out, because it's not, the fights are good enough to keep.
Yeah, it's a cult classic now.
Yeah. It's kind of how funny is that it was a giant hit.
Big hit.
Faded out.
Yeah.
And we're giving it the resurgence it deserves. You heard it here first, folks. This is actually a personal recommendation. Somebody told me I should watch this movie. Said it was really good. And I was like, well, all right, I'll check it out. And I was like, well,
they were right.
What a better opportunity to talk about it than this here on the Grindhouse podcast. Which you, by the way, can listen to on all platforms. We are on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Audible, believe it or not. We are on Amazon and everywhere. Anywhere where you can listen to something, we're going to be there.
That's right.
Also, if you go to www.thegrindhousepodcast.com, you can check us out there too. Each season is broken up with a little small header because I think it's hilarious to do it that way. You click on season 1, it says the original. Click on season 2, it says something else. Season 3 is bigger, better, bolder, and season 4 is
I haven't gone to the website in a while. I'm going to check that. Oh, you don't ruin it for us. Oh, well. But that is good.
Check it out because it's funny and I put a lot of work into it. Like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, comment on it because we want to know what you think.
Yeah, we do.
We want to know if you're going to check it out. We like talking about it. We want to hear you talk. Don't just listen to us. Have yourself voice heard. That was a terrible way to say that. Have your voice heard. Also, check out our merch. We have merch, stickers and shirts, coffee cups, hats, posters, and more. Check that all out on the grindhousepodcast.com website.
And they're endowed with special gifts from the gods.
They are. They're blessed. Join the cult and subscribe, and we'll see you next time here only on
the Grindhouse Podcast.
Bye.
Cheese Film out.